Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Truth Train. You're on your favorite podcast platform. Remember to subscribe.
Yeah, unlike those bootleg Truth Train
Yes.
podcasts out there.
A lot of people. You know what's funny? Actually, I made an appointment with the hairdresser yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I called him and he said, "Oi, is it a Truth Train?"
No.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way.
How did he know?
I said, "How do you know? We live on a tanker in international waters."
And what did he say?
He said, house 5. So I have an appointment at 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
But anyway.
he recognized your voice?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
That's incredible. That's great.
it's insane.
But I mean, a lot of people are out there trying to bootleg the Truth Train podcasts, okay? And
There's a lot of copycats.
yeah, and there's only one original. And you'll know by, to put it this way, if you're in doubt whether or not it's a bootleg episode, go see a psychiatrist right after. If you've gone crazy, it's a fake. If you've gotten more sane,
Yeah.
then you know it's an original. Then you know it's an original.
Well, here's what I would say. If you listen to a bootleg Truth Train podcast and you're not insane, it's a bootleg. It's a fake.
Okay.
But if you go insane, but you feel sane,
Right.
that's the real one.
Right. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So you've never felt more put together,
Exactly.
and perfect,
But you're
while you're going crazy.
But you're homeless.
Yeah, and you're screaming.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
On a bus, which you should.
Hey, if you're gonna be on a bus, why not make a scene out of it?
Exactly.
Let the people know.
Like that guy. I mean,
Just let the people know you're on the bus.
so remember to subscribe and like this podcast if you have the opportunity. We're building followers on YouTube, and we're building following on the podcast, subscriber list.
The plan has always been simple.
The point is this: if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, if you subscribe to it, when we get to 1,000 followers on YouTube, they give us money for the podcast.
Right. But
I think that's the thing.
well, the money's going straight to the island we're purchasing
Right.
to start our sect. I'll grow out my hair, get a big beard, you do catering and drinks,
Yes.
and everyone can come.
And everybody wins.
It's true.
Today's topic. This is the season where there's like a renaissance, a rejuvenation, if you will, of life. Summer is over. Let's be honest. It's gone.
Yeah.
Winter is coming.
Yeah, and this is the fall is the real spring.
Yes.
In other words.
So today's topic, an important one.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of young people and a lot of old people needs to know this. How to get a job.
That's right. A meaningful job.
Well, sure.
Why don't we just start with the job?
Just start with a job first.
Yeah.
Okay? We're tired of this bullshit where, you need to do something you like.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's impossible, okay? Not everyone can have a job where they love this thing they're doing.
Follow your passion.
Well, not always.
We don't respect people with passion.
Well, I mean, if you have passion, great, good for you. But that doesn't necessarily pay the bills.
That's right. You can't pay your electricity bill with passion.
So how do you, Dex? And luckily for us, we're sitting here with Dix Carrington,
Yeah.
a guy that really knows how to apply for a job,
Right.
right?
I mean, look, I don't want to brag, but I mean, this is something I know.
You've looked in through windows where people are having interviews.
I've seen
interviews.
I've seen people with suits on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a very highly capable person
Yeah.
to talk about this topic.
I've vacuumed boardrooms before.
Exactly.
So I've been around it.
You know what's going on.
Yeah. So I just like to say that when I was younger, I thought boldness was everything because, if you want to get a woman or you want to overthrow a government, boldness is always
It's important.
what you need.
Yeah.
So I thought this was the same with jobs. And I wrote my first resume for a marketing job, like a commercial guy, writing copy for commercials in 2005. And I tried to be all like, hello, I'm educated and I I really have a strong passion for this field, et cetera, and I never got anywhere with that. So then a few years later when I had my own company and I was making event videos, I was documenting huge event trips for big event companies. Then I made a business card and it said Dex Carrington, and underneath it said, "I make films, motherfucker." And then that was it. And I handed that out to people, and it had my website on it. That went really poorly.
Oh, really?
I know. Isn't that unbelievable?
It's unbelievable.
So you can be too bold.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you, as an example, if you want to get a job as a podcast technician, then I would, a lot of people will put in a resume they make on Canva that looks pretty good. They'll put their name, and then underneath they'll put podcast technician. But I would say you put your name, and then underneath you put the Indiana Jones of podcasts. Don't you agree?
I mean, that is something.
But no, you want to stand out.
You want to stand out because everybody's trying to be normal. But if you can be normal but have like a twinkle in your eye.
Yes, but I mean, you really produced the main problem here, right? You can either be one of the crowd and be seen as normal, or you can stand out. But how do you stand out without seeming crazy? Right? Because if you scream really loud, trust me, they'll notice. But do you want a screamer in the office?
You don't want a screamer.
Not currently, anyway.
Not right now.
Maybe at a later date.
We're building a company. We don't need the screamers.
Yet.
We
need bravery later on.
So what would you say then? Okay, so what is important to do? Like if you create a CV, a resume, a cover letter, what do you do?
Okay, first of all, here's what you do. You need a profile on top, and then you need your actual work experience, and then the most important part is extracurricular activities. Okay, stuff that you haven't necessarily gotten paid for, or that's outside of normal employment, like being on the board of directors or working for a nonprofit. So what you do is you go down to the Red Cross and you sign up as a volunteer. And then you go down to Blue Shield, or that's an insurance company, but like a bunch of nonprofits, and you just sign up as a volunteer, and then you put all of this on
You should put on Blue Shield as a charity work. To show people for me, that is working for free.
Pro bono insurance salesman.
Me making $200,000 a year is pro bono.
It's a symbolic sum.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's where I would put on I swam next to a great white shark. I was attacked by a bear, which I was. And
you were attacked by a bear?
In Dexpedition, we were fishing next to a river. I mean, it was a really full bear that couldn't walk very fast and wasn't hungry, and there was no risk, but it's still going on the resume.
Right.
Because they don't know that, right? So you want to seem adventurous.
They could look at the episode.
Yeah, but then it happened off camera, I'd say. But all I'm saying is you want to seem brave, you want to seem bold, and you want to seem likable.
They didn't put that on camera?
No, because nobody really dared to film while the grizzly was advancing on us.
Why?
I know.
What kind of a pussy
camera
crew do you have?
Because nobody had a gun. It's easier to film an advancing bear when you have a gun.
It's easier to film something when you have a gun. Period.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people underestimate that.
A lot of directors. How do you think Steven Spielberg got as far as he has gotten? He had a gun.
Right there in the holster.
Yeah. This is your last try on these lines here.
Can I just say that when I was using a lot of drugs, I would always have a couple of Valium in my pocket and a couple of painkillers. And it made me feel safe just knowing they were there.
Yeah, like a gun.
Like a gun. So I'm just saying, if you're not using drugs and you're not taking pills, you should probably have a gun holstered, and everything becomes easier.
But shouldn't you have a gun on you?
No, it's an either-or thing.
Oh.
Either you're armed or you have a couple of pharmaceutical pills.
No, either you're armed or you have a drug problem.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So those are the two things you can be in society.
But if you have a gun and drugs, how does that work?
Then you're a criminal.
Okay.
But if you're just one or the other, you're not.
Right. Gotcha.
Agree?
I agree.
Okay, good.
Okay, so you have a resume, cover letter, extracurriculum activities.
Yeah, anyway, so you just want to load that up with a bunch of good stuff, right? Like, hey, I was on MasterChef, that kind of stuff. I mean, just write it, and then if they find out, go, oh, sorry, that never happened.
That's what Biden did.
Well,
you know that, right?
What do you mean?
You don't know that?
What?
He lied on his. He had like a speech when he was running for the governor or senate, whatever it was. I was the top of my class. I finished with extraordinary points on my whatever, and I have many degrees. And he just like piled on like how fantastic he was, and then they figure out no, he doesn't have that degree. He finished lowest in his class. And then he was like, yeah, my memory slipped for a second.
Right.
This was in the 70s.
Right.
In the 80s, 70s, whatever.
It was a different time.
You could just lie. People
Yeah.
didn't, But now, I think you can lie now because like you can create everything now.
The most important thing is this. If I had to boil it down to one thing, let's say you have had a position as a garbage man.
Right.
So then you write garbage man, January 2017 to January 2019. And then underneath, you write what extraordinary skills this developed in you, such as learned to negotiate with the mafia, waste management, accounting skills, excellent teamwork, learned hiring and firing, and got really good at handling intense smells.
Yeah.
So it's not so much the actual job, but what did you learn from it?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And that's what people want to see.
Yeah.
Right?
Because just putting on your job, like I worked as a radio producer, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay. What happened there? Like, did you just push a button? Or what did you do? Or what did you learn? No, I learned how to, people didn't show up. I had to fix that. The computer crashed. What did I do then?
Yeah.
You're working on the clock. Stuff happens.
People firebombed the studio. You
Yeah.
scared them off.
Right.
With a hose.
Yeah, like people owe you money, stuff like that. you know?
Or the station's being extorted.
yeah,
And you negotiated.
bomb threats.
Yeah.
So how do you how do you handle stress?
Right. Yes. So that's a big part of it. They basically want to know, how do you handle stress?
Because every job, if you think about it, is kind of the same. Like you learn how to do the job, and then you just do the job over and over again. You become good at it, right?
That's it.
But they want to know, but what do you do when the job kind of takes a turn to the left or right?
That's why I put the bear attack on there.
Right, a bear attack.
So
Put that on
so
there.
they go,
If I produce something like a radio show or a TV show or whatever it is, and a bear attacks me in the studio, I know what to do.
the bear attack is a metaphor.
I give him drugs.
Well,
No, a gun.
deep down, every employer is just looking for someone with bear attack experience.
Pretty much.
Deep down. Because the bear represents unforeseen events, like someone having a psychotic break at work.
Yes, that's a bear attack.
You know what I mean? Metaphorically. Also, someone becomes paranoid schizophrenic before they get the medication. They're pepper spraying people in the office.
Right.
Another bear attack.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you want to really let these people know that you are prepared for anything in the guerrilla warfare that is the workforce. Why else would they call it a force?
Right.
Right? So then you got the profile at the very top, right?
Can I just put in there because like there was this thing half a year ago, like would you be alone in the woods with a man or a bear?
Yeah.
And then the women said bear, right? Most of them. I don't know why they said that, because they think maybe bears are cuddly or something.
I don't know.
But should you put that on your resume? That
I spent a night with a man in the forest.
yeah,
With an unknown man.
unknown man. Is that something they could put on there as a brave
As a courage
curriculum activity?
Courage marker.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would sort of like dress it up a little bit, and I would say escaped mental patient in the forest.
Yeah, I spent a night with a escaped mental patient in the forest.
Yeah, I wouldn't say just like a father of four.
Right. Which is pretty much an escaped mental patient per definition.
Yes, but you really got to bring it out on the resume.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember that. People were talking about that all the time.
Would you be in the woods with a bear or a man? Or like, I would be in the woods with a bear.
Right.
And it's just like, but that's very dangerous. Yeah, but a man is dangerous too. Yeah, but I think there's like a higher probability that the bear would attack the person, needless of if it's a female or a man, right?
Yeah.
The bear would just eat and kill the thing.
That's what bears do.
That's what they are designed to do. And men are also designed to do horrible things, but we don't kill as often as bears do when it comes to humans coming into their territory.
Right.
That's my. Well, there was this guy. Wasn't there like a guy? This guy in America that lived with the bears in Alaska, and then suddenly he
Grizzly man.
Grizzly man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he lived with the bears for a while, right? He was like walking around them, and they were like, yeah.
He was cuddling with them, and
Yeah, they didn't really. And then there was one bear that kind of just like ate his face.
yeah, and it was on camera and everything.
Yeah, and then Werner Herzog made a documentary about it.
Yeah.
And then like he was like showing his family him being eaten by a bear.
Yeah, like, what do you think of this?
And he said, "What do you think about that your brother is being eaten alive by this great beast?"
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, it's horrible. Does it make you feel horrible that he did just like live in the woods all alone and died screaming? Oh, it's horrible. Ah.
Right.
Yes, his blood is dripping from the beast's mouth. What does it make you feel?
I remember that. I remember commenting on that, actually. At the end of the day, I just feel that, like, I've helped a lot of people with their resume.
You have.
Oh yeah, big time.
Okay.
Because you have to, the resume. To put it this way, when people look at the resume I've produced, it should punch them in the face.
Right.
Like the resume should make you regret being born. You know? It should change how you see society, yourself, and the world.
For the person who's reading it.
Yes.
Or like, oh my God, I haven't lived.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, like I should quit my job and move to Bali.
Why didn't I kite surf in Bali and like eat pie with monks in Himalaya?
You know, it's funny that you say Bali, because I also was thinking like, oh, I should go find myself at a backpacking trip. But it's more like I should become a nun. Because this is too much. I don't, you know. Anyway, whatever. I'm just saying, if a curriculum vitae doesn't smack you in the face, are you even trying to get a job? And the answer is no. So, you punch people in the face by making pretty intense claims about yourself, and all you want to do is you want to get to that interview so that you can really just, how do I put this? Put on a show they'll never forget.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if you can be remembered, that's more valuable than being qualified.
If you are remembered, that's more valuable than being qualified.
That's right.
Right.
Right? So if you come in there with, let's say, a small flamethrower,
Yeah.
set fire to a couple of cabinets,
Yeah.
and then you know.
This is really a small flamethrower you got there. I mean, that's a blowtorch.
Just, no.
Like you know,
bigger than that.
Something you make a creme brulee with.
Oh, no, but bigger than that.
Okay, bigger.
But just enough to set fire to a few things.
Right.
And then you scream a couple of maybe
Anti-government statements.
maybe some sexist things, maybe some racist things, stuff like that, and run out.
Yeah.
I would say that's more valuable than being boring and being qualified.
How so?
Well, because they can't stop thinking about you.
Yeah, but will they hire you?
Well, look, if you can't,
That's not important.
Look,
if they remember you.
Look, let me tell you something. You don't know this because you don't own a business.
That's true.
But if you do own a business and you can't get someone out of your mind, you eventually will hire them. That's the only way to get them out of your mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, they hire people they hate or can't get out of their mind.
Look,
yeah.
Let me put it to you this way. A lot of people think like I can get far in life if I'm liked. It's not about it at all. You want to be remembered.
Yeah.
And you have to do whatever it takes to be remembered.
Sure.
Right? Put on a purple suit. Okay? Kick the guy. Kick the doorman in the face. You know? Throw a bowling ball into that aquarium and say, look, you got a problem? Come find me.
A bowling ball into the aquarium. Like, what do you...
Look, You're walking into an employer's office.
Did you bring a bowling ball, or is that already there?
You obviously brought it.
You brought it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But then, once you throw that bowling ball into the aquarium,
You're free. You don't have the baggage anymore.
you can finally live. That's when your life begins.
Right.
And you free yourself from the chains, okay, that used to be your mind.
So what you're saying, you should study the room you're being interviewed in before you go in there and bring the necessary tools to make them remember you.
A lot of people, all I'm saying is a lot of people think it's about making a good impression. It isn't.
But if you bring the bowling ball and there's not an aquarium, what do you do then?
Get creative.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're looking for.
That's
How do you handle that situation?
right. You know, and then after you break something else with the bowling ball, you tell them, I actually thought there was going to be an aquarium here.
Yeah, but I solved it somewhat differently.
Right. And then now you've solved a case.
Yeah.
Real time.
And then when the person is getting picked up by the ambulance, they kind of like, okay, so why? Give us 3 reasons why we should hire you. Mm-hmm. Or what is it the standard is? Can you say 3 things positive and negative about yourself?
Right.
That's a standard thing, I think. What would you an advice for one of our listeners? What would you say would be a great thing to say that is like positive, and then 3 things negative?
Right. I mean, before I go into that, I would just like to say that be sure to end the interview by saying, I can't wait to hear from you down at the Hells Angels clubhouse.
Right.
And then you leave.
Right.
Because now they're thinking.
And then they're looking at.
Now they're thinking like, is that a joke? Is it not a joke? I can't get them out of my mind.
Are you part of? Yeah, because there's other people there as well, right? Usually there's like 3 people interviewing, right? So it's like, what? Are you a member of Hells Angels? Like, no, I don't know what he's talking about. So now they're getting suspicious of him. So now you have to hire him because, like, you need to start this job and tell people that you joked about me being a member of Hells Angels.
That's right.
Right.
And now you created a buzz.
Right.
People are talking now.
Like, he's so funny. He says crazy stuff.
He says crazy stuff. Like, I need to hire him just to find out if it's true.
Right.
So then, 3 positives and 3 negatives, right? So first of all, people will say stuff like, I work too hard, I try too hard. Like, for the negatives, they'll say, I work too hard, I try too hard, and I stay up too late, and I care too much.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
No.
And the reason you don't want to do that is because if you're a person who works too hard and does too much and all this stuff, you can't set boundaries. You're just going to be burnt out. Now they got to pay for your sick leave. You're a problem now. So what you want to do is you want to find random, arbitrary negatives that people have never thought of before. Like,
such as?
Negative number 1, if I was helicoptered into the middle of the Himalayas, I don't think I could find my way out.
That's a negative.
Yeah.
It's very negative.
And they don't know how to place it because whatever you're applying for, that won't be relevant, right? Another one is if I'm breaking up with a girlfriend I've been with for more than 12 years and she tries to stab me, I don't have the foresight to put on a bulletproof vest. You know? And they're taking notes, right? But they don't know where to categorize. Like, is that bad? You know what I mean? And then you go, of course it's bad. I've been stabbed now. So you got to throw them off the scent, right? Because now they're trying to put you in a box.
Right.
You got to escape their box.
Yeah.
And then finally, when I go to the zoo, it doesn't occur to me to bring, what's that stuff called that makes people pass out? The injection, the stuff you inject into people. Tranquilizer.
Yes.
When I go to the zoo, it doesn't occur to me to bring, I would phrase it like this. When I go to the zoo, I usually forget to bring my tranquilizer darts in case the tigers escape.
That's a negative.
It's a negative.
Yeah.
And now they go, wow, he's so honest about his negatives.
Yeah, yeah.
Yet I don't think of him as too negative.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we all can relate to the lack of tranquilizers in our daily lives.
Listen, forgetting your tranquilizer darts is just such a common problem.
Yeah, that everybody can like relate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But now here's the switcheroo, right?
Okay.
So then for the positives, you say stuff like, I'm very open to getting constructive criticism. And then they go, wow, we didn't think of that. We thought he was going to say he knows how to use a handgun well,
Yeah.
And then another one would be something like, I can sporadically bring a cake to the office when no one thought that was possible.
Yeah. Nobody thought it was possible. I mean, today it's impossible for anyone to bring a cake, and yet he did it. Oh my God.
He did the impossible.
He did the impossible. He bought a cake and brought it.
The most amazing thing about that is that you can actually know when everyone will feel it's impossible.
Exactly. Okay. That's number 2. People are writing this down, by the way.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Of course they are.
I know.
And then a final one would be like something along the lines of like, I've run my own business that
to the ground.
I've run my
And I'm this close to killing myself if I don't get this job. So,
I mean, that's definitely one way to play
can we
it.
talk about dental?
So, look, I would turn it around on them, right? Because here's what everyone's afraid of. What if we hire the wrong person? They're a terrible negative to this business, and we can't get rid of them.
Right.
So you say, I've run my own business. I've fired between 16 to 17,000 people in my life. If you fire me, I wouldn't mind. And they go, oh, wow. You know, I think that's kind of what we've been looking for. Someone who's easy to get rid of.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people think that losing people from your life is the worst thing that can happen, but it's not. It's when people refuse to go. So what do you think?
I think it's genius.
Thank you.
I think people need to hear this.
What would your negatives be?
Well, I would say
Number one.
number 1 negative.
Yeah.
Well, I would say well, my problem is that I don't. One negative thing that I'm not on the internet as much as I used to be.
I'm not on medication.
I'm not on medication.
My one negative is I'm not on medication.
I'm not on medication.
Yet anymore. Oh,
And the other one is that I don't do as much target practice as I used to.
Right.
I used to. One negative thing I used to have is that I used to like have this shooting range, and I decorated it as an office,
Right.
much like this one I'm applying for. And I used to shoot stuff in that office.
Moving targets.
Like it was like at the end of the day, and then like, hey everybody, and then like start shooting, right?
No.
Because I wanted to have a full work day before I start shooting, right? So I haven't done that in quite a while.
Yeah.
And then the third would be negative, of course, that I eat too much cake when it's impossible for one to bring a cake that day.
That's it. They go, wow, that's incredible. The guy before you,
What?
he just told us that he knows how to bring cakes when everyone thinks it's impossible.
Well, I eat too much cake when it's impossible for someone to bring cakes.
Oh God, that's good stuff.
I remember actually a friend of mine. He was like a collective. It was like an apartment with a lot of people, and they were looking for a new person for that room in that collective.
Mm-hmm.
And what did they call that? They call it like when a lot of people live together.
Just a bunch of roommates.
Roommates. Yeah. Sharing an apartment.
Yeah.
But it's more like not sharing in an apartment, more like industrial sized sharing an apartment.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, and he went in there and he said, like, you have to write down your name and like something about yourself. And he wrote, I complain and I whine all the time.
Wow.
And he got the apartment because they thought it was funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Did he complain and whine all the time?
Yeah, of course. But they thought it was funny.
Did they think it was funny when he was actually complaining and whining?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's too late now.
You know, what'd be a great idea for a game show is to send people into real job interviews and see what kind of crazy things you can get away with and still get the job because people think you're just being funny. Like, you know the term going postal? They invented that because of me. You know, and everyone laughs and then you get the job and then you actually show up with a shotgun like a disgruntled male employee, you know?
Right.
Another one, it's like, you know, most people have experienced rage. Well, for me, it's more like a genocidal rage.
Yeah.
And everyone laughs.
Yeah.
And they go, what's that white stuff on your nose? Oh, I'm sorry, that's just some cocaine.
Yeah.
And then they hire you, and then you actually go mental.
And then like, yeah, we thought you were being funny, but you're actually that crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we thought no one could be like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And by the way, why is it that mailmen always became crazy? Why is that?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know, but that happened in America. It's called going postal because it was between the 1970s and the early 90s. There were so many mailmen who brought a gun to work.
Yeah,
and just started shooting.
And then like, why do the mailmen go crazy? Because the mail never stops.
Yeah. Then the barcode reader breaks. Then it's Publishers Clearinghouse Day. But at the end of the day, like I think like most people aren't bold enough. And like, ask yourself the following question: is this resume punching people in the face? Am I impossible to forget? Am I throwing them off the scent? And is my cover letter just screaming, we have to interview this person?
Exactly.
Imagine if Hitler came back to life, right? How many people do you think would want to interview him?
I mean, a dozen.
Yeah, a dozen. 12 people.
12 people.
And that's a lot of people.
I mean, yeah.
So all I'm saying is be Hitler back from the dead, right? Be the most interviewable person in town.
Because yes, even though he was an evil guy, you want to hear from him, right? Like you want to interview a crazy person who's like, what was your motive behind this? Whatever.
Yeah, I'd say you want to interview an interesting person. An interesting person.
Yeah. Like a interesting, like Stalin, which I think was maybe one of the worst. Like
one of the most interesting.
Yeah, but he is interesting,
right?
In that he was like Mao in China. I would say it would be interesting to hear how would you defend killing 80 million people? Like how does that make sense to you?
Right.
Like that would be an interesting conversation, I think.
I think so too.
Right? I'm not saying Mao's great. We're not saying any dictatorship killing mass killer is great. But it's interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Because interesting is necessarily not negative or positive.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. Like researching cancer. It's interesting.
It's interesting.
That doesn't mean you're pro-cancer, is it?
No.
No.
You're just out there doing research.
You're doing research.
You know, I just a little bit off topic, but I think it's a really interesting thing. I was talking to someone earlier today, and we were talking about this idea of because there's one thing is self-confidence.
Right.
Right. Speaking of job interview, right? You're going to go in there. You're going to sell yourself. You know, this is who I am. And the question is, do you really know who you are? Self-confidence, you can have a lot of self-confidence. Like, I'm really good at gardening, and I'm really good at landscaping, and I'm really good at riding elephants. And I know that. But your self-image can be very poor, even though you have a lot of self-confidence.
That's true.
Now, I remember when I used to drink and take drugs, if I had, 4 or 5 beers, and I looked myself in the mirror, I would think like, yeah, But when I was, going through psychiatric drug withdrawal as an example, I looked myself in the mirror. I thought, oh God, I look like I'm dying. I look horrible. I hate myself. So how can you get an accurate description of yourself?
So great topic. We've discussed this a little bit. As we talked about earlier, I said to you that I wonder what people would think of me if I robbed them.
Yeah.
Right? How on the news when they're interviewing the people who got robbed, like what did he look like? And then I think you would get an honest description of what I appeared to be for others, right? Like what is my appearance for others? So like,
but also your personality a little bit too, I think.
Yeah, maybe it shines through a little bit, it wasn't an aggressive tone, whatever. But but they want to know how what are we looking for?
Yeah.
Right? So, because I don't people are like, how do I look in this? How do I look in that? Am I fat? Am I tall? Do
I look tired?
Do I look tired? Do I look old?
Yeah.
Right? Do I look strong, weak? Like, what do I look like for you? How do I look to you? And then I think children and people getting robbed is the only one who gives you the correct feedback.
That's right.
Right? And I think maybe people who get robbed, usually older, they know more words and how to describe stuff. So like, let's say I robbed somebody and I looked at the news and then watched the news, and then they said like, well, he was kind of like a pale, weak,
chubby
person with like a, big nose and ugly hair, but he had a gun.
And
right?
it looked like a French tranquiliquist.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Or if like, it would be interesting to see how people would describe me after I robbed them.
Mm-hmm.
And
your victim's description of you is who you are.
Exactly. That's who you actually are.
That's how you know if the Ozempic is working.
That is true too.
That's right.
It's like okay. So I look at myself. I see like a normal person. I'm built normal. I don't look weak, I think, but I also like don't exude strength. Like I'm not like, oh my God, he's like I'm a scary person or anything like that. Just I think I look normal.
Right.
Like my silhouette is a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he can run, he can probably climb, he can probably do a lot of stuff, but he also likes to, take it easy.
That's a great way to describe a physique. He can probably climb.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think like as a robber, I would love to get feedback from the audience.
Right.
Right. What do you think they would say about you if you robbed somebody, like the police or the news?
Maybe like a Krusty the Clown impersonator without makeup.
Right.
Or like a homeless surf. It depends on how much product I have in my hair.
But also who you're robbing, right? Because if you rob like some young girls, they would be like, he was an old man, right?
Right.
But you're not old. At least I don't know how old you are, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But if you rob like an older couple, like 70, 80 years old, it was like there's a young man.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think look. You're talking about people who have been very politely robbed. Okay.
Yeah.
Like my victims would be in shock. They would have tremors and be like, "Oh my God," you know what I mean? Like they would all hate me, and they would have that in common. That would be the
because don't you think that hate also
hate is realistic?
Yeah, but the hate kind of colors the description of you as well
in the right way.
Yeah, well, that's where I kind of disagree because
Why?
I think when you get robbed and if you rob somebody and you're doing it in a very rough and tough way, they kind of like, yeah, he was very rude and ugly.
Right.
Right?
I'm with you.
Because like people who can change their opinion about somebody's face very easily if you're rude. If a guy comes over like with a gun is like, hi, listen, and like, he's a suit on, he looks great, new haircut,
right,
gold watch,
Rolex,
sure,
yeah.
And he says like, I'm sorry, but I have to rob you. What? Yeah, it's a gun. I need your purse.
Mm.
Why are you doing this? Just give me the purse.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And then thank you, and you leave. I think maybe she would like, I mean, yeah, it was strange. He was like a handsome guy in a suit and, just give me the purse. And I was shocked, so I just gave him. But I hope he calls me. People like I think there's different layers here, different levels.
Did you hear about the guy on Tinder who posted a picture of himself and then he wrote, I have been convicted of beating a woman, but everyone has a past. And he got like 300 likes in an hour because he was so attractive.
Right.
Yeah. So being attractive and smelling good, I think, is the key to any robbery or crime.
That I believe that.
What is the right cologne for a crime?
Yeah. What I think Acqua di Gio from Armani is good.
For what kind of crime?
Petty crime.
Petty crime. What about the bigger stuff, like bank vaults?
I would say like the Johnny Depp one, the Sauvage from Dior.
Right, Dior.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That's one from if you have a drill and you're drilling into the bank vault all night.
Yeah.
Dior is your
I got to be honest, like I would feel a lot, I think my self-esteem would be a lot higher if I could be robbed by someone who smelled really good.
I think so too. I think like the problem with robbery is that it's always the wrong people.
Yeah, like
robbing.
Yeah, like don't be gross and commit a crime.
Like I knew a woman, an older woman who got robbed, right? And what he did, he was just ran over her, and then he just like pulled her purse out of her arm, and she fell to the ground and like hurt her arm and everything. He could have just said like, "Give me the purse." She would probably give it to him, right?
Or he could have said, "Hey, give me the purse."
Yeah, whatever, right? Yeah. And then they took the purse, and but he didn't have to hurt her, right?
Yeah.
But a guy in a suit who's respectable, like people respect like a classic robbery.
People respect class.
Like touche.
Yeah.
I would say, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
If a guy came over to me and like, hey, robbery here.
You should look like you're on your way to your own wedding, or at least present as someone's best man if you're going to be stealing people's stuff.
Right.
You know, with a little corsage and a tuxedo. Rob me with a tuxedo and I don't mind. But if you come up smelling dirty, you know, like an institution person, I'm pretty bitter about giving away my wallet.
We are against robbery in this podcast.
Well, certain types.
We're against it, period. For the algorithm's sake,
right.
We're against it.
We're against it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Don't rob, don't shoot, don't do a crime.
But if you have to.
No.
Okay.
No. No crime, people.
No crime.
That's not the way to do it.
That's not how you build a resume.
But what we are saying is that if you do something, you should put some class into it.
Yeah, that's it.
We're not saying what to do. We're just saying class it up, please. Make an effort. Show us that you've thought about this and that you're trying to like build something. You're on your way to something. And that the thing I have, you need it to like excel.
Yep.
Like, don't be like, because if you're a guy who runs up to me like with a smelly tracksuit, I know that you're running right back to your shitty life.
Yeah.
Show me that you're running the right way.
Yeah. Don't take my stuff and then bring it into a shitty life. Take my stuff and bring it to Wall Street.
There is a guy, a magician in Las Vegas. He's like one of the best pickpockets in the world.
Right.
He's like like when he'd be like, "Hey, come out to the stage." Okay, so let's stand over here. Stand over here. Like look into the camera there. Blah blah blah. And let's stand over there. Okay, put this on. And while he's like deflecting and then he's like stealing rings and watches and whatever, you know, purses, stuff from their bags, like their hats, like everything's just like gone, right? And they're like, okay. And then like, okay, could you give me your watch, please? And like, where is it? Like, I don't know. And she's like, I lost my watch. Oh, I don't know. You mean this one? Oh, everybody claps, right?
Yeah.
So what he did, he went to Italy. I think Naples for the idiots.
Right.
And then I think he went down there, and there's like this legendary pickpocket thing that they do there, which like he wanted to find out because he never learned how to do like what was a trick behind the pickpocketing. So what he did, he took like his wallet, he dressed up as like a traditional American tourist, put his wallet in his back, and he went on buses where there was like everybody was cramped together. And then he noticed somebody was kind of like following him, but he didn't know really. And then they disappeared. And so obviously there was people working together. There were like 8 guys. 5 guys working together. Like, okay, so we see a guy, he has this. And then like they follow him, and then he goes on the bus, and then somebody else goes on the bus. But he didn't know who the people on the bus was. And then they had like this trick where they kind of like, they were like touching him many times on the bus, like just like, well, you know, get used to being touched because we're so cramped together. And then while they were like touching, like putting his taking his wallet out of his, and he went off the bus and he said, I didn't feel that they took my wallet. And he's like a professional pickpocketer,
right?
Entertainer.
Right. He
said like that was a great trick. And they stole my wallet, and there's nothing in the wallet.
Yeah.
And he just put in like a telephone number or something, like I'm gonna call you or something in Italian. And then he found the pickpocketers, and he said, listen, I'm an entertainer in the US. I make millions doing pickpocketing, but could you show me what you did? And they were like, first of all, like, oh, we don't want to be on camera. And then they were like, sure. And then they showed him the trick. They showed him a couple of their routines, what they were doing. And they were always working in pairs.
Wow.
but they were nice clothes, like leather jackets, shirts, Italian jewelry,
Wow.
like nice haircuts.
Yeah.
You know,
That's it.
class it up.
That's a great way to lose your stuff.
It's a great way.
And also, where's the showmanship, right?
Right. Where's the talent?
Yeah, but that's it. And what I see there are people like making an effort. If you're going to rob me, give me some entertainment. Make it into a show and smell nice.
Yes, and of course, and this is Italy, so maybe they didn't smell nice. But the point is that they had jewelry and leather jackets and like loafers, and like they were classed up. You know, Dolce Gabbana, all that shit.
Classy robbery.
Classy robbery.
That's it.
And the guy took those tricks and he took it back to the U.S. and he uses it in his entertainment stuff.
That's it.
He has like 30 million views on YouTube on that video alone.
Wow.
How the pickpocketers pickpocket the pickpocket.
Are they on camera?
Yeah.
They're not blurred or anything?
Nothing.
Really?
They were like proud.
Really?
Like, yeah, we've been really practicing.
What's that video called?
I don't know. You'll find it.
Will I?
Yeah.
All right.
Italy, pickpocketing, American Star. Google it.
So anyway, look, I would say like just to round off this whole job application thing, right?
Yeah.
All the
Because the reason we're talking about this is like, how do people view you?
Yeah,
like,
right.
how do-
Only your victims will give you an accurate assessment of who
That's
you are.
why you have to make your employer a victim.
You know what? I just think people in general should have more victims, right? Because then, if you have, call it more enemies.
Sure.
Okay, just have more enemies.
Have more enemies, yeah.
And then when you have enough, you call them all in, buy some pizza, and you say, "Hi, listen, you're here for the focus group. Tell me how I look and how I act and everything."
Right.
Then they say you're terrible and you have no chance in life and you shouldn't even live here. And then you go, "Great," and now you're ready to write your resume
Exactly.
with realistic input.
Yeah, I think this is helping people.
Few things have helped people more than
I
this.
think people get a lot. Like there's a lot of notes. I can hear it.
Yeah, I know.
People are writing this down.
Yeah, but it's just, it's the only way to live.
So, and then, okay, you get the job. Okay? You get the job. What should a person do on their first day when they arrive at that job?
It's much like prison, right? Find the biggest, most powerful person there
Take him down.
and just show them who's boss. No, but I think what a lot of people do wrong. What a lot of people do wrong once you have the job, because a lot of people will get into a job and they'll have this feeling of hopelessness or panic, and they'll think, I'm going to be in this office for the next 45 years. Yeah. Like I can't, and then it's almost like a claustrophobic, terrible feeling. I'm just going to push these papers and fill out these Excel sheets for the next 40 years. I'm panicking. Oh my God. And that's why a lot of people take expensive vacations and they do drugs and drink and they try to escape themselves. No, here's what you do. If you like your job, great. Just stay there and like it. If you hate your job, now you have the rocket fuel to propel you into your new career, right? Which is your side hustle, right? Now that can be selling anabolic steroids at a park with the obvious risks that comes with that. Or you can open your own pottery business. Or you can start weaving your own your own clothes. I'm just saying, look, if you think that you're going to start your own business without hating your boss and current job, hate is the fuel that builds empires.
Right.
And so get a job, hate it enough to do great things.
Hate is the fuel of the future.
It always has been.
What I would say is that people who wants to have a job, okay, they should get a job, and then when they get a job, start looking for a new job.
Yeah, that's so true.
Because if you want a job, get a shitty job so that it kind of motivates you to get another job.
I mean, if you think you're going to get a job without hating your current job,
there's no way.
Think again.
I have to get a job. I have to get a job. And you're postponing it. If you want something done, give it to somebody who doesn't have the time to do it. If you give it to a person who has all the time in the world to do it, he never does it. They don't do anything.
No, they don't.
They have too much, I'll do it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So, again, sell hot dogs, broom the streets, like whatever you do, pick up trash,
Pick up trash and sell hot dogs.
Sell hot dogs at the same time. You know,
Sell hot dogs out of your garbage truck.
At the baseball stadiums, they sell hot dogs, right?
Yeah.
You have like a hot dog thing, and then you have a trash can on the back.
Yeah.
Right. So you're a multi-purpose tool.
And also, it's the way you get in there too, right? I heard a story in college. There was this pet store chain across the United States, and there was a guy, and he was unemployed, and he traveled around to every single pet food shop in the United States, and he just went into the store and he found all the problems that he could see. And he did this for like a year. Now, you got to be a kind of a unique individual to go on a pet shop tour of the United States, but that's what he did, and he took notes the whole time. Then he called up the CEO and he said, listen, I've got some notes. And the CEO said, yeah, you're a lunatic, leave me alone. But he called every day, much like in Wall Street, where Charlie Sheen keeps calling Gordon Gekko. Finally, he says, you can have 2 minutes, 2 minutes of my time. The guy comes in there. He's in there for 5 hours talking about how these pet shops should be reorganized. And the guy makes him CFO of the entire chain on the spot. That guy is a multi-millionaire pet shop owner today. And so the moral of the story is, go to a lot of shops.
Yes. Buy a dog.
No, but
I guess.
go to businesses and try to find the problems.
Right.
That's one way of doing it. But also, I'd just like to say, too, if you really want to get a foot in the door, right, you have to pretend.
You go in all the doors.
Listen, you go in the other door, then the other. Sorry, everyone's standing at the front door. You got to go in the back door.
Right.
So you got to call the HR people, and you got to say, listen, my name is so-and-so. I'm kind of a big deal. They'll know what it means. And then you say, look.
We actually don't know what it means.
Well, then I feel sorry for you. You got to say, I'm thinking of de-escalating my positions in the Bulgarian stock market and getting a full-time job, and I've chosen you. I'm sending you over my CV. You have 5 minutes to make a choice before it self-destructs, and then you hang up. And then a threat pops up on her screen. You see what I'm saying?
Because you hacked their computer?
Yes, of course you did. Oh. It's an IT position.
So okay, but so you need to be a hacker then?
No, I'm just saying this is the kind of stuff that gets people's attention.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And you're not just a CV. You're not just one of 1,000 CVs. You know? You're coming in there. You go look. And say, hey, some guy who's heavily involved in the Bulgarian stock market wants to de-escalate his positions, and he wants a company, and he wants to come work for us. Then the boss will be like, oh my God, we only have 5 minutes to decide, you know? Then they don't even have time to read your resume. You just get it. There wasn't even a resume there. They don't even open the file.
That story about the guy with the pet store.
The pet store is true. But
that's true?
Yeah, but the Bulgarian stock market,
that's a given. But so you knew a guy or heard of a guy?
My college professor told me about a guy.
Yeah, okay. So the guy went into pet stores and said, this is not the right way to organize the store.
Yes.
And so he went into like a bunch of them.
Well, it's like there's no discounts. Like these should be on discount. The discount aisle should be here. This food should be there. The stuff should be there. Toys should be back there. The person should be here. There should be a greeter there.
So was it a chain or like all the pet stores?
Chain.
It's
like 400 stores in the United States. Some of that.
And they were like randomly set up. They didn't have like a system.
No, they didn't have anything coherent. He felt anyway.
Right.
And so he reorganized the whole thing, and the stock increased by like $2 billion or something like that in 10 years. Yeah.
Right.
So he became like I'm just saying. Get creative, you know?
Get creative.
Look, a lot of people are standing at the front door. They're going, look at my resume, look at my resume. You don't do that. You go into you rent the building beside it. Yeah. You start tunneling under the earth. You tunnel under into the next building and up into the CEO's office. And you pop up.
You have an extraordinary capability of like saying something sane. About like the pet store, a very sane story.
It's good.
And then suddenly, now you're renting a building next to the company you're applying for, and you're starting digging a tunnel.
And you're tunneling like the Mexican mafia.
Right.
Yeah, no, but people respect boldness, and you got to be remembered, you know? So you got to shake it up.
Shake it up, huh?
Shake it up, that's right. You know? And so also... buy a book called 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene.
Or listen to this podcast.
That's true. Because it's
pretty much the same.
Yeah, we are an affiliate of 48 Laws of Power. Or we are governed by the 48 Laws of Power.
Right.
Yeah. So I just think, another thing is I remember being in college. And then we were given these cases. We had Lululemon at the time, which was a very small brand. It was nothing. And our whole thing was to just introduce it to more stores. That's all we had. But another group, they had a mattress store.
Introduce it. What is Lululemon?
Lululemon are yoga pants.
Yoga pants, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, the deal is this other group, they had a high-end mattress store. And then they suggested to the CEO, by the way, who came to the school and was looking at the presentation, they said, we should take this high-end mattress store and make it into a discount mattress store. And he was just like, this is pathetic. I spent my whole life making it an elite mattress store. You want to lower the prices? What are you, idiots? And he lost it, right? Meanwhile, there was some other group who had like John Deere tractors or something. And they basically just said, you should reorganize in this way and maybe do some of these things. And one of the guys from that team got hired by John Deere. And another guy, too, got hired by Coors Light because he was just a college promoter who drank a lot of Coors Light before Instagram. He was just known as like Coors Mike. Yeah. And he got hired. I met him a few years later. He was driving a Coors Light truck. So get out there. Drink.
He really made it.
No,
He's driving a truck.
No, but trust me, this is good stuff. So, and he hired me for a summer in 2007 to document Coors Light parties in Canada. All I'm saying is drink a lot of beer, present things to people, be out there.
Be drunk.
Tunnel your way into buildings.
Invite the CEOs.
Just don't disappear into the shadows.
Okay, so the mattress store, are they still around?
Yes, of course, but they just didn't. There's no way they were going to do
the discount thing.
Yeah. So the guy said you can always go from discount to high end, but you cannot go from high end to discount.
You can't do it.
You're not allowed.
You can't do it.
And like in the same way, like I can't go from being a king to being a garbage person.
No.
Right?
You can't.
But you can go from being a garbage person to being a king. I'm just saying one's socially acceptable, the other one isn't.
Yeah. It's like you can never go back in class. You have to always have to escalate.
And that's why do you think the people who fall from grace either get into drugs or get annexed onto an island like Napoleon?
Yeah.
Because you need an island.
He got his own island.
It's the only way to handle a fall from grace.
Because they didn't want to make a martyr out of him. So he's just like, he moved to an island, which is impossible to, and he was also sick. He died on that island.
Because if he was sitting on a street corner shooting heroin, he would have been a martyr.
Exactly.
That's it.
But the point is, like the discount thing, like that sounds stupid, right? Because like I agree with the CEO, like you can't go back in standard. You can't like go from like a luxury brand like Armani and then become like H&M.
Can't do it.
You can't do it. Like you've destroyed the whole label market. Like, what kind of school is this?
Yeah, University of British Columbia.
Yeah, and what did you do? What group were you in?
Lululemon yoga pants.
And what were your recommendations? Smoke more weed?
I mean, what
in
were
the yoga
they?
Pants?
I don't really remember what they were, but I think it was just like
target people with doomsday preppers.
Oh yeah, you know what it was? It was set up a what's it called? The main store of something. What's that called?
A mega store?
Not a mega store, but like a main store, a Target store, a whatever, just some huge Lululemon store. Because at that time they were some sort of like affiliate of something else. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it wasn't even Lululemon. It was an affiliate of Lululemon. I don't remember. They were just to put it this way, they weren't impressed with us, but they weren't disappointed with us either.
Was this a bachelor thing or was it?
Yes-ish. It was like year 4, but like they weren't disappointed and they weren't
happy either.
No.
Right.
No, we stood out in no way.
Great.
Yeah, it was not bad. So, that's what you want to do. Stay under the radar in those kinds of situations. But just in general, be remembered.
Be remembered. And I hope everybody remembers to subscribe and like this podcast.
For more employment tips. And if somebody doesn't want to employ you, just make them call us. Look, can I give one last tip here just to really get people in tune with what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Imagine this. You send a bunch of resumes. It's not, and sure, you get some interviews. And you walk in there and you present yourself and you answer questions and you walk out. Imagine this. It's the 54th story of a building in New York. You're called in to an interview, right? Little do they know, you've got a parachute strapped to you underneath the suit.
Right.
Okay? Sure, you answer the questions. You seem boring. You seem routine. You seem like, oh, well, he's really like an uninteresting human being. And then at the end, right, you take out your trusty bowling ball, right, throw it into the window, and you jump out of the window. And then you parachute your way to safety.
Your trusty bowling ball. Does that have a parachute as well? Come on, trusty bowling ball.
No, it doesn't actually have a parachute. That one's a wild card. That could go either way.
Right.
But all I'm saying is, as you're parachuting yourself to safety, I mean, granted, they're not going to stand there watching you parachute down and go, he's hired. But they're certainly going to be talking after,
Yeah,
going
we should have him in for the second interview.
Yeah, but just saying, like, I mean, who really stood out in your mind? I gotta admit,
the guy with the bowling ball.
The guy that took out the bowling ball and smashed the window, jumped out and parachuted his way to safety.
Yeah.
That guy stood out in my mind.
Yeah, but he killed people with that bowling ball when it hit the ground.
Hey, you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet.
That's so true.
That's what they say.
Well, what I would do, I would in this day of terror, and in danger, I would, and of course this you could do this anywhere actually. You should hire somebody to attack the office while you're having the interview, right?
Yeah.
Have somebody attack the office, like he has like a machine gun, and then everybody, oh my God, somebody with a gun broke in here, and then you take out your gun. It's like, I got it.
Yeah.
And then you go after him, right? And then, maybe you're not shooting, but it sounds like poop. Like you're shooting like, Hollywood guns.
Yeah.
Right? And then like he runs off and he escapes.
Yeah.
And then the police comes and they're like, who was it? Well, I don't know. He looked like a guy with Krusty the Clown lookalike. A guy, he doesn't look like he can run fast or climb a wall, you know? But, so I don't know. He escaped. Got out of there. Now, meanwhile, you're the hero, right?
You gain control of the siege.
How did you know to have a gun with you? Well, it is not. It's actually just like it's a fake gun with but it make popping sounds.
And then also one of your friends is one of the cops.
Right.
And at one point he looks at you and he goes, what don't you have in that belt? And you turn over and
Patience.
You go, patience for people who attack Dynacorp, which
Exactly.
is the job you're applying for.
Of course. So I think that is a way to do it because, like, oh my God, you know what? We need a guy
who can handle the siege.
Who when there's a call for action.
Yeah. Another thing is, I think a lot of people just don't even have the imagination to get a job. I mean, one other thing I would do, you train a dog. You spend 9 months training a dog. You get it as a puppy. You turn it into a 1-year-old really well-trained dog. And then while you're in the job interview, someone releases that dog into that office as if like it just appeared out of nowhere. And suddenly you're controlling it like you're master of the animals.
Right.
And then
when they say we should kill this dog, and then no, I will adopt him.
Yeah. And you're like controlling him. Or even better, train a bear.
Okay. Anyway, I think these are all good tips.
Yes.
I think people
are ready for autumn now.
People are ready to get into the job market.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and also, by the way, if you want to, you can put this podcast on your resume.
That's it.
You can put us up as a reference. If you need any references, we have your back.
That's true.
And then I worked on this podcast in international waters on a tanker. If you need to put that on your resume, we'll happily lie.
That's true.
And to help you out of your misery.
Yeah. Any day.
Any day. Okay, bye. Bye, people. Bye-bye.